What is up? First to the floor, Celtics Late Night. I'm Jake Issenberg, joined by Sam Lafrance of How About Them Celtics to discuss the Celtics 109-98 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, undefeated in the Jason Tatum post-Achilles era. Sam, how you doing?
Couldn't be better, actually. The Celtics don't lose anymore. Jason Tatum looks like Jason Tatum for the most part, and everybody else on the team rocks. So it's been a lot of fun to watch these last couple games.
Yeah, I think going into this little 3-game stretch, we've had this circle on the calendar as like this is going to be tough. The Cavs have been rolling. They had 4 days rest or something weird coming into tonight, and no Jared Allen, but whatever.
Celtics beat him twice with no Jason Tatum. What can you really ask
Yeah,
for?
we're now 3-0 against the Cavs this season, which is why I've been saying I want the Cavs more than anyone else really in that kind of second round range. But alas, a really, really nice win. And to go 1-2 on this road trip would have been a win to me. To get that first win on the first part of the road trip. So now you can kind of like play a little bit of house money in the middle of the schedule while playing in the middle of a house money season, while still being officially the like pretty comfortable favorites by the betting markets to win the Eastern Conference now. Plus 195 for the Celtics, plus 280 for the Cavs at number 2. And no one respects the Detroit Pistons or the New York Knicks. Do with that what you will. But this game was kind of weird. Like early, I thought they were very disjointed. And it's funny, as soon as Tatum comes back, even though I'm telling myself this is like a house money season, like it's all gravy. The fact that we get to be this good with Tatum back, it's house money. As soon as he's come back, my level of intensity watching these games has totally changed, because if Jason Tatum's playing, it means you got a chance to win any game, any series. And that's the way I feel watching these games. And they start sucking early in this game, and I'm like already losing my mind. And then Sam Hauser comes in, knocks down a couple threes, and kind of a shooting variance game, a little bit in the bad way for the Cavs. But I thought defensively that was the story of the game for the Celtics. And when we're talking about Tatum watch, his defense I thought was the biggest story from his game.
Yeah, I completely agree. Tatum, what does he even do? I had a what does he even do like day of basketball. I was just telling Jake I literally was so bad. But nobody wants to hear about my game. They want to hear about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum had that stretch in the first quarter where I was texting everybody and I was like, they're gonna win the title. Watch out, they're back. And then I think he just got tired. Like I think he kind of lost his legs a little bit, or just lost whatever he needed athleticism wise to create and dominate the way he did in the first quarter. But seeing him do that in general was really cool, because I mean, 10 months ago, we didn't know if we'd ever see that again. Like in general, like see him get on the floor, but like, okay, he's back, but like, is he going to just have to like sit in the corner? What's he going to have to do? And you mentioned the defense. Nick NBA did the world a big favor, put out some great clips on Twitter if you're looking. He moved really well. He didn't bite on anything. Like, he doesn't have defensive rust. Defense, as much as it is like an athletic thing, like it's discipline, it's feel for the game, it's film, it's all this different things like combined into one. And he looks as sharp as he could be. I'm sure like he's had better defensive stretches, but like if this is the play I think it is, the brilliance of him to be able to just move around, stay in front, like he's very connected. Think about how long it took Vucevic to even look like he belonged on the court with these guys on defense, just because he didn't understand the way the Celtics do things here. Yeah, this is it. Like, just stays with Mitchell, who kind of fakes hard both ways and he never bites. Like, that's pretty impressive.
This is the play, I think. And yeah, like if you're listening to this instead of watching on YouTube, if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Tatum on Keon Ellis, goes out to Ellis, kind of shuts down the Ellis spot, comes in, helps on Mobley down low, forces the ball back out, tough pass over to Mitchell. 4 on the clock, stays with Mitchell, forces a ridiculously tough fading long 2. And that is everything to me. The fact that he's already able to have these flashes over the first couple of games, he's so far ahead, I think, than anyone could have expected. To have the first quarter that you talked about, 12 points, getting downhill, hitting threes, defending this like this, rebounding. He had a really amazing rebound over Dean Wade. Don't you worry, we're going to get to Baylor Shyman, Eric West. That's for sure. Yeah, it's funny. It was like reminds me a little bit of when Jaylen hurt his knee. Obviously, it's different because now we know he was actually injured, and you're trying to analyze stuff. It's like, is he turning the ball over really badly because he's injured, or because Jaylen Brown turns the ball over in some bad spots sometimes? Is Jason Tatum going 6 for 16 because he's coming off his Achilles, or is he going 6 for 16 because sometimes Jason Tatum goes 6 for 16 multiple games in a row? And maybe I know you missed some of the lazy pull up threes because there was a couple of them tonight.
We got him right away today too. Like, it was just like I think I hit the Discord today in the first quarter. I was just like, watch this, like, we're all the way back. Like, just you see that first between the legs dribble, pump the brakes, everybody hold on to something. You're gonna get a difficult three, but he made a couple of them. He was 2 of 9 from 3 in this game, so it's pretty much same old, same old. But in all seriousness, I think as much as he's been himself at different stretches of the game, like scoring wise or defense has been mostly consistent. I thought he looked a little gassed on Friday, and that's to be completely expected. And also with the like, oh, I'm so excited to come back. You just get sped up and you get even more tired than you would be. His playmaking has been the thing. Like, I tweeted it today. The barometer for like how it not even playmaking, but just like what he does for the offense because he's out there with gravity and his spacing. Derek White has dunked in the half court more times in these 2 games than I've seen him dunk in half court offense all season. He got that wide open bounce pass dunk today, and Tatum threw an absolute dot, set him up for a wide open lane. And I just think having both Tatum and Brown, you're seeing what it's doing for Peyton Pritchard, who struggled immensely in the games leading up to Tatum's return, or at least he was a coin flip every game to see if he was actually going to play well or try to score at all. And now defenses can't commit to him. He cooks in the fourth quarter today when the Celtics are dying out there and they needed something desperately. And Jason, to his credit, turned up in the fourth quarter as much as you can expect him to turn up in the fourth quarter at this point of his recovery. He has the big offensive rebound, and then he makes the dagger three. Like, what more could you ask for? Winning plays in the second game, the first actual close game. Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Left hand, left thumb up. Baylor Shyman, best celebration that a Celtic has come up with since Malik Fitz, I think. Tatum hits the dagger three. He also has a really nice drive on Evan Mobley, right hand, kind of like vintage handle at the top of the key, playing with a screen, getting to his right hand. To see that in the fourth quarter, to see the minutes load. You talk about the playmaking. He had one pass today, insane, like drive baseline, kind of like side angle flick to Hauser in the corner, who missed it, but then Tatum got the offensive rebound and then got the free throws. Like, the passing has immediately popped. And I know we love Garza, but it would have been really nice to see if Tatum could have amplified Vooch's passing that was really good. Alas, I think, the passing has been fantastic over the first couple of games here. 18, 8, and 5 in 27 minutes per game on not great efficiency, but that really doesn't matter. How is he moving? The physicality he's able to get to, whether it's on the glass, defensively, or some nice drives. I think he's not fully trusting getting downhill, but then also it's like, how many times did we used to yell at the TV to just get downhill a little bit more? So that'll probably come back as we go. I thought Joe Mazzulla said it pretty well in the post game. There's a ton of grace you want to show talking about Tatum, but once you step between those lines, there's also non-negotiables that you got to do. You got to rebound, you got to defend, you got to compete, and he's doing that. It's really that simple when it comes to Tatum. He's so good at so many things. 6'9", can handle, can pass, can shoot, can rebound. You sub that guy in and replace, as much as we love Hugo, some Ugo minutes, some Hauser minutes, some Baylor minutes, and you plug this dude in, the team's just going to be better.
Yeah, he is really fit. And I hate to even say fit because I hated the discourse, will he fit, leading up to everything, but he has been more than willing to make the extra pass. And I'm not saying I want him to give the ball up every single time he touches it, But especially Friday, I don't know if it was a mix of just like he wasn't quite comfortable looking for his shot right away, or it was more into what they've been doing all season. But specifically since the All-Star break, the Celtics have moved the ball really well. Jaylen's assists are way up. Derek's assists are way up. And the primary playmakers are doing a good job of that. But Jason coming back and getting into this, he didn't have big assist numbers today. He had 7 on Friday in the debut. He is not stopping the ball, which is something people have worried about with him in the past, and also Jaylen in the past, where you get to the fourth quarter, they both do watch this ball, and it doesn't go well. He's just making moves. He's making the defense have to make decisions. And as Joe would have told Jack at the beginning of the season, he's creating 2-for-1s. And that's what you need to do to help this Celtics team win games.
Yeah, it's you couldn't ask for any more. I wonder how the minutes load is going to go. Like, we've got 27 minutes per game. They've been incredibly coy about every kind of aspect of the return. Like, every step is part of the progression. I don't even know if I'm coming back. Yada, yada, yada. We have a plan. What is the plan? He kind of, I don't know if it was a Freudian slip today, but he said, I hate being on a minutes restriction. It looks like the minutes restriction's around 27, 28 minutes.
It has to be.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be that for 10 days, 5 games, depending on how the schedule shakes out. That, like, just tracking the progression of Tatum's recovery and my own very basic knowledge of physiotherapy is like 10-ish days, 7 to 12 days of adding load, seeing how your body responds, and then going up from there. So 5 games, probably up to 30 minutes. And by the time I get to the playoffs, we're going to be kind of straight back to that 35-minute range, which is just so much better than we could have asked for. Yeah, the playmaking bump by having Tatum, best passer, decision maker, just has access to passes that guys like Pritchard and Derek White don't have just because he's 6'9". But yeah, 7.8 assists per game for Jaylen post All-Star break. And coming into the season, it was like, what are the things that we can get out of this season in a gap year that ends up being a great gap year? Can we get a playmaking leap out of Jaylen? Like, he's going to have to shoulder a ton of responsibility. And you're kind of seeing it in the first couple of games back here. I thought that some of his passes that he made in this game were fantastic. Him and Jason had some moments of poor shot selection, especially in the first half from Jaylen. First shot he took in the third quarter got Sam Merrill on him, like a ridiculously terrible, tough fading to his left in the corner shot that missed terribly. After that, unreal, I thought. From there, I thought he should have had a couple extra assists to to Cater. But honestly, credit Mobley for like forcing Jaylen to pick it up with a contest and getting back to contest Cater. I thought Mobley defensively was pretty impressive tonight. But Jaylen, to me, it's like he's been training with a weighted vest on all season long. All these guys have. And then it's like he's come back.
Same thing to Jack. I said ankle weights instead.
Ankle weights. Yeah. Well, it's like he's come back from King Kai's place for the Dragon Ball Z guys out there. He's just hopped off, the Rainbow Road. No, that's Mario Kart. I'm mixing my anime here.
I got nothing for you. I don't know anything about this.
The super long dragon road that Goku came back from in the first season to fight Vegeta after training in 10 times gravity. That's what it's probably going to feel like once they really Snake Way. Thank you, Isaiah, in the chat. I'm embarrassed, but yeah, it's been a tough not to have this gravity from Tatum, have dude that can take the playmaking and ball handling responsibility off of Jaylen, off of Derek. And I thought that you were the maybe where you felt it the most. Fourth quarter, Peyton Pritchard. You mentioned it earlier about Pritchard having some extra space. The ISO god, Peyton Pritchard, late in the fourth quarter, 2 monster isolation buckets. You go back and watch those plays. Dalen Tyson on Tatum, terrified to leave him. And like, Pritchard's right next to Jaylen Tyson, and he doesn't even like dig and put a contest up. All he can focus on is denying Tatum the ball and being terrified of what he can do to you. And it allows Pritchard to get in his bag, isolate on someone like James Harden, because that's where some of the worst defenders are going to be going forward. And Pritchard's taken steps as a isolation scorer where he was huge in the fourth quarter, and that gravity and that extra attention just slots everybody right into their perfect spots.
Yeah, I felt like this was like the game, at least like the first of the games for the people that were on national TV or whoever you may be, like being like, oh, I don't really know what I think about Jason Tatum fitting next to this Jaylen Brown, right? Like my thing I leaned on with that was like I thought Jaylen played the best basketball of his career into the finals and winning finals MVP.
Yes.
And they did just fine. They won a title that way. And then last year, I think everybody kind of forgot that Jaylen was good because he had the meniscus thing. So they were like, oh, he's good now. He's not going to be able to handle sharing, and Jason's not going to handle being second fiddle, where this was the perfect you have both day. Jason goes off in the first quarter. Jaylen kind of slow to start. Second quarter, Tatum's getting his rest. Jaylen has good moments where they're building this lead, and he's kind of just taking what's given to him. And the same as in the third quarter, Celtics come out flat. They don't score for the first several minutes. Then Jaylen scores or assists on the first 9 points of the quarter, hits Nemi with the pass. Then he has 2 mid-range step backs and an and one. The ability to just kind of turn it on whenever he wants is super valuable. And then to kind of bring it all full circle, we talked about the Tatum stretch in the fourth quarter where he had his little, 7-point stretch there, and he was able to be the one that got the scoring, and Peyton Pritchard being like the 0.5, like the 1.5 in all of this, behind the 1A and the 1C, if you will, maybe 1D. You don't really want to put it too close to the other ones. Having a guy that is like towards the top of the league in isolation points is not nothing, especially when you think about situations in the past where you watch Celtics playoff games and you like, okay, think about the Knicks series last year. They lose those first 2 games, right? Like the worst two worst things I've ever seen in person. If you have this Peyton Pritchard, you're not going to go ice cold. You may still like today was a good example because it was threatening to be that. You're watching this, they're up 26. All of a sudden, it's down to 8. Peyton Pritchard scores his 9 fourth quarter points after Cleveland cuts the lead to 8. And he should have had 12, but he took his time too much on the 24-second violation 3 that he made, which also would have been a timely basket. I think you have so much like this today, and I'm sorry if you're going to listen to the show with Jack and I tomorrow because all I talked about was timely shots. Like everybody had a moment where they were doing timely things. Tatum got them off the mat at the beginning of the game. Jaylen carried it when Tatum looked like he was tired or didn't have the offensive creativity that he needed in the middle quarters. And then Peyton and Jason took it over. And we didn't even talk about Baylor yet, which Eric Weiss said in the chat.
Right,
like
we will.
Baylor had his timely buckets too. Like this was an incredible Celtics team win. And I'm all the way on the Kool-Aid right now because I'm like, they didn't win this game because Jaylen and Jason were awesome. They won because the other guys were awesome. Sam Hauser, what does he do? He makes threes.
5 hits, 5 for 10 for 3.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys doing stuff out here, which is pretty good. Yeah, the way everyone's slotting in to their roles is really, really impressive. Yeah, I just need Peyton Pritchard to remain aggressive, and I don't think anyone's asked him about the injury thing, and I was wondering why
no one has.
And I don't know if there is an injury thing because he comes out today and looks awesome, obviously. So maybe you don't want to give him that kind of excuse, but he was incredible post All-Star break and then kind of fell off a cliff. And then he was unreal both in the Mavericks game and in the game today. So, yeah, but you're speaking my language. The best thing about having Jaylen and Jason is that you get to have 2 Jays. And that's something you absolutely felt in this game today when Tatum goes to the bench and Jaylen goes on his scoring binge. You're like, holy shit. Because they can have a stretch where they don't play so well. And the other one, that's what they do. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. It's like Jaylen is kind of remembered for hitting like the shot, which he should be. But the first half of that game, Tatum was unreal and Jaylen was not. And then Tatum kind of comes back to earth and Jaylen goes off in the second half. And that's the superpower of the Boston Celtics, of the Jaylen and Jason era, is both of them. And in 2 games without Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown is averaging 23.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists on 47% field goal, 37.5% from 3, and 7.5 free throw attempts. Obviously, very small sample size, but that's definitely a number to to keep an eye on, and leading the team in plus minus for all of the people that think Jaylen doesn't impact winning. But can they play together? Can they fit together? Can Jaylen Brown survive taking one or two less shots, a couple of less touches? Is he going to be okay? He's playing pretty fucking well in the first two games without Jason Tatum, which we love to see. So I know everyone's excited to get to Baylor Shyman, which we're going to get to after the break. And we hear from our friends from Prize Pick. Prize Pick's time. Man, it's tough in the Prize Pick streets right now when it comes to the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown rebounds more. That's feeling like a pretty good place to go at the moment. 9 for Jaylen Brown today. Maybe it's just a Baylor Shyman world, and we're just living in it. 16 and 10 for Baylor. As we go into San Antonio, I think I'm going to be riding more on threes across the board. Wemby patrolling the paint. The Celtics like to get him up. Give me Sam Hauser. Give me Baylor Shyman. Give me Peyton Pritchard more points and threes. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play a $5 lineup. It's good to be right. We love our friends at Prize Picks. It's going to be a fun game against the San Antonio Spurs. Baylor fucking Shyman. I mean, I've written about and talked about how Cater is maybe the most surprising thing of the season or most impressive thing of the season. I was probably the hardest out of any of these players on Baylor coming out of Summer League, coming out of the preseason. Does this guy care? Talk about what does he do? Couldn't shoot, couldn't defend. And now the dude literally does everything.
What a turnaround. I can't believe it. And, I was there with you. I don't know if I was like hating on him, but I just remember expecting more out of him coming out of Summer League. Like, he's older. He's like 25. He doesn't have like the Jordan Walsh leeway of being young. And we're all like, well, give him a year and he'll develop this or that. Like, just kind of expected him to come to play. And Summer League was shaky for him. He didn't really look like he was super he's really effective at anything, as you said. Like, what does he do?
Yeah,
and then the
preseason,
he comes out as like the fourth in the pack of all those guys of at the time, Minot, Jordan Walsh, Ugo. Like, Ugo gets the first big break of the season when he guards Brunson. Then Minot has the stretch where he starts, and Walsh gets it. And like I said, it was like they all have the Thanos glove, the Infinity Gauntlet, and like they were just sharing it. And Shyman was the last one to get it. And his reign on the Infinity Gauntlet has been the longest of the bunch. He's just been awesome for pretty much all of 2026. He was holding down a starting lineup spot after getting DNPs, coaches' decisions throughout November. In like up until Tatum came back, that was his spot to lose. And he played like a starter today. He had a double-double off the bench, 16 and 10. He made every timely shot. He had 2 offensive rebounds. One of them was super timely, if I remember correctly. And then he had a steal, and he also had a turnover that he forced that he will not get credit for, where Dennis Schroeder is about to swing the ball from the top of the key, picks up his dribble, still stepping. Shyman jumps the lane, and he doesn't throw the pass because he knows Shyman's going to get like a pick 6 steal, and he just travels because he was still walking. Like, Shyman created that turnover, and he won't get credit. He has really developed and figured out like what he does, like not to hammer it home on him too hard, but he's carved out a nice niche. He's shown you that he's not Sam Hauser. If I'm not mistaken, like, this is kind of the player he was in college, where his rebounding was one of the things going into the draft. Like, his rebounding numbers were like 7+, I think, a game. And he could shoot the 3 a little bit too. Like, he was like a pseudo big man type for Creighton, alongside Big Calk, who is not with us, but he's developing and showing you the versatility in his game. You can have him handle the ball at times, and he can do that. Like, this is the best way this season could have went. You mentioned Nimi. You got Nimi playing great basketball, like on a nightly basis, and Baylor Shyman, who we had like buried going into the season, is a real rotation guy. So much so that like you don't even really have to be like, Ugo, what do you have for me? Like, if Ugo's got something for you, it's even better. Tatum comes back, you don't have enough minutes anymore. Like, you're back to the same problem you had last year.
Yeah, and that was always the funny thing about the wing depth thing. It's like how much wing depth do you need when Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are on your team. This is with Jason Tatum on a minutes restriction right now. Baylor's been fantastic.
Is it me? Who is it? Chat, tell me. 'Cause I'm not sure if it's me. Could be me. Oh no. Australian Wi-Fi. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, Baylor has just developed into somebody that the Celtics can rely on. And you have, as Jake was saying, all this wing depth now. You almost don't have enough minutes to go around. Hauser is in the starting lineup. Welcome back.
Thank you. My fucking internet that sucks that my landlord's trying to get me to pay for.
I feel you, man. I've been the Wi-Fi man for years. Finally got my own.
Drives me nuts. I'm very happy for you. Very jealous. At least it's free. If it's going to be shit for me. Apologies. I think I just said I was trying to figure out the amount
wing
of
depth
games. Yeah, I was it. Okay. I forget when I got cut off, but do you need wing depth when these guys are playing so much as when Tatum on minutes restrictions? I was trying to figure out while you were talking how many games it's been since Anthony Simons was traded. I think it's been 12. If I'm not mistaken, the Miami Heat game was the first game back after the trade deadline.
So it was Mavs and Rockets, and then so it was 10 in February. They have played how many games this month? They played. Maybe I should stop yapping. I'm not sure. But they played all games but one in February without him. If that helps.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go with the last 12 games because it's too hard to figure out off the basketball reference right now. Baylor Shyman, 26.5 points per game, 9.5 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 0.9 turnovers, 49% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. The dude is really more than just a 3-and-D wing. The three-point shooting's been reliable. The defense has been a complete revelation. And the playmaking kind of off the bounce has been ridiculous, both scoring, and I mean ridiculous relative to expectations. I need to make that clear here. This play today, Pritchard going at Jalen Tyson, swings it to Baylor with 5 on the clock, gets past Schroeder, lefty Kareem skyhook over the GOAT, Thomas Bryant. I mean,
shout out to him.
Who we loved in the playoffs last year. And then this may have been this was one of the moments it felt the game was completely over. If I'm not mistaken, Celtics up 24.5 to go in the third quarter. Pritchard running the break. Fine Shyman again at Bryant. Step back in the corner. Just calm, confident. Stick that left thumb up. It's beautiful. Such a good celebration.
Yeah. I went and looked it up. His college numbers as a senior at Creighton, 18.5 points a game with 9 rebounds. So the rebounding bump that the Celtics have gotten from him was part of the bargaining when you were trying to figure out what they're supposed to get from him when they drafted him, what can he become? And a lot of people were like, Baylor Sharpen, white guy, Sam Hauser. It was the easiest, one-to-one. And he's really proven that he's more than that, and it's made him playable at the same time as Sam Hauser, if that makes sense. Because I don't know how much sense it makes to have 2 Sam Hausers. I guess if you have 2 automatic 3-point shooters that can play defense, you probably just are cool. Sure. We'll take it. But you can play them together. I think it opens the window for more minutes at the very least. I don't think if you had 2 of them, you would run them all at the same time. And he's given them, as you mentioned, great minutes. He's really made up for losing Anthony, and he's filled the extra time that's been left because Simons is no longer here. And now that Vucevic is not going to be playing, why not? This is great. And shout out Luka Garza, who's just continued to be looks like he was never taken out of the rotation, looks completely sharp. And he's been awesome this year too. They just hit on everything.
Yeah. The lineup combinations now that Tatum is back are interesting to me because in previous iterations of the Celtics, typically the non-Tatum minutes were a struggle. Even like in some stretches through that 2024 season where we were so stacked, there were moments where even then the non-Tatum minutes were not good. Well, we just had 60 plus games of non-Tatum minutes, and this team was able to rack up one of the best point differentials in the entire NBA. So now there was a stretch in this game where there was no Jaylen and no Jason on the court, which part of that is going to be minutes restriction related to Tatum. I don't think that's going to be a ton of that, but you can feel really good, or you should feel really good about being confident in those lineups with neither of them. You can stagger them, you can play them together, you can play neither of them because you've seen this bench all season long be fucking insane, and people shitting all over Jaylen Brown for not being an impact guy because of how good the bench has been, when it really just means the bench has been incredible. So now it really gives you these options, and you have a really nice 9-man rotation. I do wish we had Vucevic as another option and like some depth, because now if you lose Garza, I mean, if you lose Cater, then kind of the championship hopes, I think, go up in smokes. But 9-man rotation, Ugo plays 7 minutes tonight that you feel really nice about. And you kind of going to get a quarter of a player back as Tatum gets closer to 35 minutes as well. You've got versatility. You've got Shyman. You can plug and play into these different lineups for some extra ball handling on the bench to, help ease the load with a Pritchard, Derrick lineup. I love Shyman giving you him being this good defensively and on the glass and not turning the ball over and giving you some off the dribble juice and being good on catch and shoot threes. It's like, oh, fuck. I mean, you're really unlocking a ton of lineup versatility.
Yeah, and it sucks, donkey dick, to have to lose Vucevic at any time. But if you had to like power rank the times to lose him, it would be when you get Jason Tatum back.
Yeah.
So he just helps you with the defensive rebounding, right? And it almost enables you to get a real look at Garza and be like, okay, what does he have? Because I think, do they have to make a decision on Garza this summer? I feel like they have a team option on him.
Team option.
No. So they kind of have to be like, do we want him? Do we not want him? I don't think there would be any harm in paying him whatever he's making now again next year. So picking it up feels like a no-brainer. But, seeing him do this with Tatum, it may make your Vucevic decision, whatever that may be in the summer, a little bit more complicated. With the way that Garza has played when he actually has an opportunity, he just looks so good. I saw Bobby Manning tweet today. Curious your thoughts. Probably going to disagree with it. But he was like, I actually think like I would rather just see Garza than Vucevic. Like it's clear that I'll verbatim read this to you. That way, like, I don't want people to think I'm saying this. I can see where it's coming from. I see it. I don't think it's completely misguided. I've become quite the Garza fan myself.
A lot of people have. And while you look for it, the Discord, everybody hates Vucevic. And like not everybody, but from my perspective, I was seeing Vucevic being the scapegoat anytime anything went wrong. Who was the team that got? Yeah, Charlotte kicked the shit out of them, and all I saw was Vucevic. I was like, this is not just Vucevic's fault. Everyone sucked balls. Jaylen was horrendous. He was becoming the scapegoat. You got the tweet?
Yeah, Garza is a better option for this team than Vucevic. That is what he said.
So I just don't think you needed to choose. That's the thing. Joe was making the conscious decision clearly to play Vucevic more. How much of that was just we want to get Vuce acclimated as much as possible, build as much chemistry as possible. We know what we have in Garza. He works really well in these different combinations, screening, handoff, offensive glass. Let's get Vuce up to speed. I don't think it was one or the other thing. I think the only silver lining to Vuce being injured is that we don't get double bigs. And we weren't really seeing double bigs anyway after the first few games that Vuce was traded here, because Joe was like, for the best. I appreciate him having a crack and trying stuff in February and March is good, but like on paper, trying to play Vuce and or Garza as like a 4 type guy I didn't really see the vision. But I just liked having another guy that gives you a little bit differently, some nice defensive rebounding. I kind of think of them as the same type of shooter. I don't think either of them are going to get guarded particularly tightly in the playoffs. But
Don't know
I
why they don't
really
guard Garza. He
no,
doesn't
he
miss.
doesn't miss. Yeah. I really wanted to see what Vooch's passing would look like with Tatum once Tatum got up to speed minute wise. Like we saw Garza get found for 2 little floaters. He made one, second one went in and out. Vooch is really good in those spots. And you saw it in Tatum's first game back in Boston, how he was spoon feeding Cater. That's just what he does. He finds these big guys in really really good spots. And I think he would have made Vooch's life really easy. And I just would have liked to have the option. I didn't think it was a one or the other. I'm hopeful that Joe learnt from the Knicks series in that sticking with someone like Porzingis, just because they've got contract, whatever the reason may be, if it's not working, just fucking go away from it, especially in the playoffs. Well, who knows if we'll have that option. I do like that Vooch is probably going to be healthy for the playoffs just because I want the depth. Because if something happens to any of these guys, you want another big guy. Speaking of big guys, Cater, didn't think it was the best game for him, but 36 minutes.
Somehow.
2 for 7.
All in the paint. Actually, it's not true. He had a grenade that he had to take.
Yeah. And I know Vooch will be back, so that is good. But I thought he rallied pretty nicely defensively, got on the glass late. It is like, I mentioned it earlier. I thought Mobley was really good at kind of showing and recovering and forcing some tight passes and making Cater's life difficult. He's got to learn from Garza the pump fake because Garza knows he's getting his shit blocked, getting down low, the D-cell, the pump fakes, the getting fouled. Cater's got to get some pump fake into his game.
I don't know because I'm admittedly like I'm mostly watching Celtics games and I get my like opinions formed on opposing teams quite largely through seeing the Celtics games. I've been better this year. I do try and watch other games as much as I can, but I do not see a lot of bigs with the below the rim bag of Luka Garza. Like he has like all of the Pinoy stuff, like all the things that you're watching, like slashing guards that have to create for other people learn how to do. He's doing that. He's super good. Like defenders cannot truly commit, at least if they're paying attention, to trying to block his shot anymore because he's so good at that. And he draws an obscene amount of fouls for somebody with his usage. Like, dude, Luka Garza gets the line at least once or twice a game. I don't have the number in front of me. I could
and knocks him down.
Pull it up. And he makes it. But like for Cater's credit, like if he did learn to pump fake, it would be better. I think he has been much better than I would have thought, especially like with the non-layup and dunk shots, like the little hook shots out of the post. Like he's got that in him a little bit, and defensively he's been so much better this year. He's a legitimate rim deterrent. Teams do not want to see them when they drive. He's got whatever the Celtics blitz like spin like on the little spin thing in the playground. You know what I'm talking about? Like I forget merry-go-round, whatever.
Yeah, where you gotta you hang on and you get dizzy.
Yes. Yeah, that thing. Like that's their defense. That's the way they scramble around. He's got that down. They didn't really go out on Evan Mobley when he was like when he was trying to stretch the floor today. And that to me was a little bit concerning. Like if you play against the Knicks and they have Cat, but was that by design? Was that just being like, you know what, Evan Mobley, you go ahead. Like we'll live with that. And we don't want to get burned by James Harden. We don't want to get burned by Donovan Mitchell. You're the third option. You go and do what you want from out there. So defensively, I thought Nemi was good. I think Luka Garza does leave you a little exposed there, even though he is somebody who I enjoy seeing play minutes. I think he can be a legitimately game-changing player when he's hitting the offensive glass and creating extra possessions. But losing Vucevic stinks, not only because you would have liked to see what he and Tatum look like together, but like they've never played together. Like if you're going to gear up for the playoffs, this was the X amount of games that they were going to have to develop whatever chemistry they'll eventually have. And they could still do that. There's probably going to be 4 or 5 games left by the time that he's cleared to play. Whether he actually is going to be out there with Tatum in those games is another question. I know at least 2 of those 4 games are New York and then New Orleans, the
Hmm.
9th and the 10th of April. So that will be a back-to-back. Probably won't play both of those, but the positive on that is it's a finger, so he can stay in shape. He can
Yep.
do all the conditioning. He probably could work on his left hand. There's a lot of positive there, and I do agree. Like I think there is value to having him and Garza. You don't really have to pick. I
Mm.
think that, as you said, picking the right spots to use each guy is the way to go. And Joe has shown us that he will do that. He said it in the Charlotte game. He didn't really like what he was seeing early in the game, and he kind of tell the team didn't have it, but figured he would give Luka Garza a little bit of an opportunity to see if he could shake things up in the first quarter. And they don't win the game; they don't really fight or anything. Um, but like the trust is still there. I don't think Garza has fallen out of favor with Joe, which is important because Joe is ultimately making the decisions. He has been somebody who has essentially done everything ever on trust, especially like when it comes to rotations. It takes like multiple years to earn playoff minutes, which is my one concern for Luka Garza.
Mm.
But as far as he's concerned, he's done everything he can. As soon as Joe started playing him again, he has just thrived.
Look, as far as backup bigs go for 10 to 14 minutes, it could be a lot worse. He's definitely shown that he can be a good offensive player. And if he can help you on the margins to counteract some defensive stuff, at least he fights on that end. But to take away big man wise, the fact that Cater can play 36 minutes, we've seen this a few times now. We've kind of theorized, will we see more of that in the playoffs? 36 minutes tonight. But yeah, I definitely think I would make Evan Mobley prove it. 31.5% from three this season. He had once he shot 37% last year, but even that was on only 3 attempts per game. Like, I'd much prefer him shooting threes than kind of biting on pump fakes, getting blown by, getting downhill for dunks, because he is really nice around the rim. But before we go, I mean, got probably mentioned Hauser, 5 for 10 from three. We got to that. I think we hit pretty much everybody. Big picture, 10 months ago, it's kind of crazy. Like, from then to now, the future of the Celtics was very unclear. It was like, okay, Tatum has torn his Achilles. Will he be able to come back to any type of version of himself? We're feeling pretty good about that even 2 games back. They send out Drew, Porzingis, Horford, Cornette. They shed $1 trillion in salary. They get under the luxury tax in what is objectively a cost-cutting season. They're the 2 seed now. They've got Tatum back. And even in a year next year where they look to probably be under the tax again, they're going to have a little bit of free agency to play with. They've got their own draft pick still to draft and develop. They're going to the fact that they're able to be here as of today, cleaning the glass, second in point differential, despite all of these external factors going against them. It is important to try and maintain that house money perspective, because the 27-28 season and the 28-29 season, those were kind of looked at as the versions of the last 2 years where you're going deep into the second apron again and you're going to like win the title with talent, hopefully. To be this good and have the path clear again, despite this catastrophic instance happening to you, is a credit to everybody, Missoula, Jaylen, you name it, Brad. The fact that we're here, I'd be so fucking annoyed if I was a fan of an opposing team.
Yeah, shout out to the Sixers fan that just put his whole therapy session on the Bill Simmons subreddit last week. I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that, as Jake said at the end. With this team, with what they've done, I don't know if I just think my expectations have been shaped on what they've done. I definitely didn't think they would do anything going into the season. I was kind of leaned on Team Tank. I just thought it made more sense in the long run. Like, they could have been awesome and a lot of fun. And like like at the beginning, I would have probably put the ceiling at like 6 seed. Like, yeah, it'd be cool. Like, you'd probably lose in the first round. Tatum's not going to come back. And then they win all these games. They're as close as they've been to first place as they've been probably since the first week of the season, when they lost 3 games in a row. And then whoever was undefeated was 3 games ahead of them. So that was definitely the last time they were this close to first place. Detroit lost today. As Jazz said, Knicks lost today. They're equidistant from both of those teams, above and below. it just is a good time to be a Celtics fan. Like, it really is. You kind of have expectations now with Tatum back.
I know.
Maybe you don't. You can kind of peel those back if you want to tell yourself he's still getting like his win back and everything. Like, you can, like, he's still got to get his legs back, figure out how to play. Like, there's a lot that goes into this that before they hit their peak, but they look like a great team. These are a bunch of guys who got here to this point of the season by playing well together, by sharing the ball, by listening to Joe, who is a consistent figure in all of this. I just think he's gotten the most out of every team except for the first year. Well, last year. Porzingis got sick. Tatum tore his ACL. But, like, throughout the season, they were still good, right? This season, looking at the East, it's tough because Detroit played the Celtics really well this season. They did not see Jason Tatum, but they proved that they could compete. Size is going to be an interesting factor in that series with Jalen Duren and Beef Stew. As much as I want to say the Knicks stink and I don't believe in them and they're fake and all this, like, I wholeheartedly felt that last year, and they smoked the Celtics like with everybody healthy in those first two games. Like, that was when the series was decided, not when Tatum got hurt, unfortunately. And then, like, Cleveland, no. Sixers, yawn. Orlando, they're a dumpster fire. Miami, Celtics have handled them this year, even though, like, they have given the Celtics problems through certain stretches of games, but they can never finish the game. Like, none of it. Is Charlotte the scariest non-top 3 team right now?
I placed an Eastern Conference futures bet on Charlotte at 23-1. You have to take them seriously. Their body of work is too big now. Like, it's very reminiscent of the 2022 Celtics. I have this vivid memory of being
Even the Pacers
after
last
a
year.
rec league game. Even the Pacers last year, like, they maybe not be able to win the title, like, but, like, you have to take a team that's got like 30, 40 games under their belt of being this good seriously. It reminds me of the 2022 Celtics, where I have a vivid memory of being after a game I played rec league wise, we always get drinks afterwards and hang out. And we're talking about the playoffs and how, like, yeah, Celtics have been good lately, but, like, they can't actually win, right? Like, they can't actually make the finals. We like the Bucks, we like whoever, and I'm like, look at the metrics from January to then, and these guys not looking at metrics, but I remember being, like, way too upset about it at like 11 p.m. on a Thursday night and being like, you don't understand. Since Robert Williams entered the lineup and has been in this roaming role, they fucking destroying everybody. The same is true to me of the Hornets. And when you talk about the flaws of the Pistons and the Knicks and the Cavs, even the Celtics, I think they could win one or two series. They are very terrifying to me. I'm, like, very focused on not getting them in the first round. Like, I think the Celtics should be favored and they'll probably win, but just completely unnecessary to face someone like that in the first round. But yeah, the Pistons have lost 4 in a row now. I think at least one of those games, if not 2, came without Cade. But they still blew a lead to the Nets. I don't care who's playing. Granted, the Nets have been one of the hardest teams the Celtics have played all season long. But yeah, the East is open. The Pistons are sliding, and you see it today. I tweeted about it. The Pistons today, Cade and Duren combined for 50 points on 76% true shooting. The rest of the Pistons combined for 60 points on 45% true shooting. Like, everyone's been talking about their floor, and it's like they don't have any creation really outside of Cade, and Duren feeds kind of right into that connection. And that's a perfect example of why, if they go down, that's going to be how they go down.
I'm happy you brought that up because I think that's true for them. I don't think they have a lot of offensive creativity. They don't have a lot of offensive versatility. And when you look up and down the NBA, besides, like, let's omit the Thunder and San Antonio and Denver because they had Murray and Jokic. There are not a lot of teams outside of their top guys that have the depth that Boston has, right? Like, just look at the box score today, and then look at the Celtics, look at Cleveland. This was one of the most eye-opening things I took from being at the Lakers game when the Celtics beat the brakes off of them. The Lakers have a talented group of 3 guys at the top. Let's omit Marcus. The rest of these guys are lemons. Like, they stink. Like, they're awful. I wouldn't trust them with anything. They're losers. And I think that does bleed down from like Luka as a loser.
Correct.
But like with the Celtics, Joe Mazzulla has just molded all these role player guys to be next man up, where we're gonna go out there and do our job. It's like the old Patriots thing, if that's tickles your fancy. That I mean, the Cavs outside of Mobley, Harden, and Donovan today, nobody hit double figures. Thomas Bryant took the 6 most shots on that team with 5, 6 shots. What is happening there? I know Strus is hurt. I know they had a couple other guys out today, so it's not completely fair to judge them based on this one game. But I don't feel like there are a lot of teams. I think New York's better with Alvarado, and that was a real game changer to me the last time they played the Celtics.
They're easily the team I'm the most scared of in the East, unfortunately. And
yeah, I can't lose to them again.
So, on one hand, if I'm correct in that that's our toughest kind of opponent, which but again, they look like garbage today through stretches against the Lakers team, who's not very good. It's really annoying. But
the Lakers are awful.
Yeah, I know, and the Lakers kind of smoked them, so that's embarrassing. But on the right night, like I think that like the Knicks had a really nice win against. It's been the Rockets. Even though they lost to the Thunder, I thought they played really well in that game. On the other hand, absolute cinema to go back second round, take down the Knicks a year removed from last season with a different iteration of this team with Tatum coming off the Achilles. Like, if we're making sports documentaries, which Jason Tatum apparently is constantly making sports documentaries, episode 7 or 9 of whatever episode we're up to.
We have a breaking news quote. Sorry to interrupt.
Please go.
It just popped up. JB Bickerstaff, we're not concerned about Boston after today's game.
Yeah, they should be concerned about themselves, dude.
Presented without context for what it's worth. I am seeing this literally on one of those Bleacher Report quote graphics. So I don't want to like completely put him in a corner of what he said, but we'll think about it.
Well, I mean, look, asking anybody questions after they lose, it often doesn't go well. But especially Bickerstaff, a fiery individual. But yeah, he's got bigger problems. Like we're not seeing the Pistons unless we see them in the conference finals, because the Pistons at worst I think could fall to 2. There's no way they fall to 4 if like we pass or 4 to 3. Like if we pass them to go into 1, then they're not falling to 4 most likely. So
can you imagine going to 1 right now?
I mean, it's on the table.
Like right now, you would get Cleveland or Toronto round 2, and right now you would have Charlotte, Atlanta, or the loser of Orlando, Philadelphia. But I doubt that by the time, if the Celtics were to catch Detroit, Charlotte has not passed up into that 8th spot at least. Like they are not going to be in the 9-10 game when this is all said and done. They're only like 3 games out of just the 6th seed in general. Like they are hunting for a real playoff berth. If the Celtics can get to that weak side of the bracket, fantastic.
Yeah, it's on the table. It is annoying that we don't have the tiebreaker, so it's really kind of like 3.5 games back, which is frustrating. And strength of schedule at this point in the season isn't as important, but it's definitely still a factor. The Celtics have the 3rd hardest remaining schedule. 2 against the Thunder still, 1 against the Spurs, Knicks, Timberwolves. So it's unlikely. I mean, I don't know if playoff status, that becomes my go-to website at this point in the season. It's playoffstatus.com. If anyone wants to like check the like percentage odds of finishing in certain spots. But as of right now, the Celtics currently have a 6% chance of getting the 1 seed, 58% of the 2 seed, 28% chance of the 3 seed, according to playoff status. This doesn't really take into account like vibes and rhythm and momentum and Jason Tatum coming back. This kind of like just purely puts in like, I'm assuming, like probability in each game and net ratings and stuff like that. So probably not taking into account the Pistons have lost 4 in a row and the Celtics just got Jason Tatum back. But going to be a big hill to climb with only so many games left and being like 3 games back. But yeah, it's a fun thing to track regardless. But yeah, it feels like we're on a crash course for Knicks Celtics. Like we've got a over 80% chance to be in the 2-3, and they also have an over 90% chance to be in the 2-3.
Yeah, looking at the road records in the conference is interesting too. I know that's something that people will use kind of to determine how real a team is at times. Detroit 21-10, Boston 22-11, New York 17-15, Cleveland 18-13, Toronto 19-11, and then it gets worse. Philly 17-13 is one of the other notable ones, but the Knicks are not like the others at the top when you think about that.
Yeah, I can't get a handle on them. It just doesn't make any sense. Like point differential wise, big picture metrics, they all check out. But as far as night to night consistency go, of the teams at the top, they have had the least of it to me. Like they had that swoon earlier in the season where they were like 3-11 or whatever over their last 14.
Yeah, they won the cup and then they just were terrible.
Yeah, the cup. Yeah, so take that for what it's worth. I don't know. I don't like having to deal with them in the second round, but
it's because they were built to beat the Celtics. Like they were built specifically to beat the Celtics. They were not built to beat any of these other teams, which is why they lost to Indiana last year. Like they were OG, Mikal, you come in, guard Jason and Jaylen, and we'll go from there. And Mitchell Robinson is just a motherfucker.
Annoying. Yeah. I am hopeful and confident that if there's any coach that can learn from a series like that, he will have stuff up his sleeve for the playoffs if that does come to it again. So I do feel good about that. Probably should wrap it up here, Sam. It's been a pleasure. Great time to be a Celtics fan. 2 huge games coming up against the Spurs. And it's good. This part of the season typically is like just get me to the playoffs, but the Jason Tatum return is awesome. And I kind of like that he's got a road trip now after the home game. Get all the jitters out of the way. There's not that weird tension and electricity in the road buildings. He can't just go out, road trip, play basketball, and we can track the field goal percentage and the bad shots and the great defense and the great playmaking as the games go along.
Yeah. You could definitely feel the difference today. You could feel that he wasn't forcing for anybody, at least from a shot making standpoint. It also, I know Nick NBA said this to Jack and I a lot every time we talk to him. Him deciding to come back for this stretch instead of, let's play the Wizards for my first game. Then we'll play Phoenix and the shit ass Warriors. Then we'll go play Memphis. And then there is like a decent team mixed in there after they get home from Memphis. I don't remember who. Oh, Minnesota is the one after that. So that would be like the first real game that he has to play in is Minnesota 5 games in. Instead, it was Cleveland today, which I thought he was pretty good. San Antonio Tuesday, and then Oklahoma City, like 2 of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah. We know this. These guys are adversity addicts. And there's no better adversity than tearing your Achilles, coming back. I saw some great marketing. There was like this newspaper type flyer thing, and it was like, shouldn't come back too soon, take the year off, buddy. And then like some not for JT or whatever.
Yeah, it was the Jordan commercial, I think.
Okay.
It was awesome. Yeah.
I haven't been served that one yet, but they're definitely leaning into it. Like they're not half-assing this thing. Like he said, I want to come back and be Jason Tatum, and like, good shout out to O'Malley, whoever did the surgery, and all the
shout out to him.
Achilles propaganda about like getting the surgery quickly and all that shit. Like, so far, it wasn't just green beer Kool-Aid. So it's pretty nice. All right, Sam, what do you got coming up for us next couple of days?
How about them Celtics tomorrow morning? Jack and I recap this game. You'll hear Jack talk about this instead of me, or with me, but I'll be saying a lot of the same things because it is the same game. But you can hear Jack's takes. It will be live on the pregame Tuesday and Thursday and so on. And Hardwood Houdini is where I'm writing about stuff if you care.
Hell yeah. Sam Lafrance, it's been a pleasure. Shout out everybody in the chat. Jason Tatum is back. Boston Celtics are back. Till next time, go Celtics.